In this Monster Hunter Wild video, guys, I'm going to be showing you my Paralysis Greatsword build. This build deals a ton of damage, also while paralyzing the monster, so that way you can get in those juicy chops while they're sitting there just begging for mercy. But as always, guys, if you want a more detailed version of this build, check out my Mobalytics link down in the description below. Thank you again for Mobalytics for this opportunity. So without further ado, let's get right into the build. Alright, so first things first, let's go over the armor. For the helmet, I have the Guardian Fulgur Helmet Beta. For the chest, we're using the Arc Vulcan Male Beta. Arms, we are using the Guardian Fulgur Van Braces Beta. Waist, we're using Gargoyle Beta. And legs, we're using the Gore Greaves. For the talisman, we have the Exploiter Charm Level 2. For our weapon, you want to focus on mainly attack infusions and try to get as many elemental boosts as much as possible. In this instance, I wasn't able to get mostly element, but I got 2 element, affinity, and 2 attack, so it wasn't that bad. But I wasn't able to get 2 paralysis attack infusions, so that's why I have this. But you want to go for all attack infusions and mostly element, and throw in a little bit of sharpness and or attack as well. For the decos, for the Greatsword, we have the Focus Handicraft Jewel level 3. We got 2 Crit Jewel level 3s on top of that. For our helmet, we have Counter Jewel level 2. For our armor, we have Chain Jewel 3 and Counter Jewel 2. For our gauntlets, we have 2 Mighty Jewel 2s, and for our waist, we have Tenderizer Jewel level 3 and a Counter Jewel 2. And then lastly, for our boots, we have a Tenderizer Jewel 3 and a Sane Jewel level 1. 2 of those right there. So all in all, we do have a full stack of Crit Boost, Focus, Weakness Exploit, Counter Strike, Maximum Might, and Antivirus, with a little bit of Agitator Burst, a little bit of Handicraft, and Flinch Free sprinkled in there as well, along with Constitution. As for crafting the armor, for the helmet, we just need a Guardian Fulgur Certificate, 5 pelts, 4 nose bones, and 3 thunder sacks. For the gauntlets, 5 Guardian Fulgur Scales, 3 Fulgur Fangs, and 3 Guardian Pelts. For the waist, we'll just need 5 Gormagala Scales, 3 Rip Claws, 3 Wings, and 2 Frenzy Shards. For the boots, you'll need 1 Gormagala Certificate, 3 Scales, 4 Wings, and 1 Gormagala Night Gem. And for our Arc Vulcan Male Beta, you'll need 2 certificates, 3 Scales, 4 Armor Plates, and 4 Arc Veld Kalu Shells. Alright, let's first talk about the skills and why I added them in this build. So first things first, we're going to be talking about Counter-Strike. So the reason why I like playing Counter-Strike on a Greatsword build is because I love going for the offset attacks, and I'm very toxic on sometimes whiffing those, but it's not all bad, because with the Greatsword playstyle, sometimes you can miss those offset attacks and or guards, so when you get knocked on your butt, this will give you a nice damage boost. So that's why I threw the Counter-Strike in there. Of course, if you don't like this playstyle, you can obviously switch this out for something else, but that's what I like going for. Another one is critical boost, so we are dealing a lot of crit damage, so also Maximum Might. Maximum Might will increase our affinity when our stamina is at maximum, and with the help of the 2 set bonus of the Guardian Fulgur, which adds a extra stamina bar on top of our stamina, this means that we will have a pretty much a maximum uptime on this skill, so that way we always have an affinity boost. And of course, pairing this with Antivirus, which is pretty much a mainstay in most of my builds, is if we have Antivirus, once we cleanse that Frenzy status, then we get that additional 15% affinity. So we're pretty much hitting crits almost every single attack. And with Crit Boost, we are pretty much enhancing the damage of this Greatsword build. So we're paralyzing our target and then also dealing a ton of damage alongside with this build. So as you can see here, I'm fighting this Arc Veld, and almost every single attack has an affinity crit strike on top of it. So we're just dealing a ton of crit, ton of damage, and we're also paralyzing him at the same time. And I also forgot to mention that we also have weakness exploit on this build, which enables us to get an extra 30% affinity on weak points, and then an extra 20% on top of that when we're hitting wounds. So this just deals even more damage when the monster has exposed wounds and we go to close them with our focus strikes, or when we get to mount the monster as well. So again, more damage when those weak spots are pretty much showing. So we're pretty much hitting, I think, almost 100% affinity once we get those weak spots open. And some good quality of life skills that were thrown into this build. The first one I want to talk about is the focus skill, which increases our gauge fill rate and reduces charge times by 15%. And this pairs well with the Greatsword because every single Y attack, the charge slash, the true charge slash, they have a charge, so pretty much we're always trying to get those charged attacks off. Even the offset attack can be charged as well, so this increases the charge time, so that way you have little downtime while you're sitting there trying to charge your attacks. The other skill is Agitator. We only have a level 2 bonus with this, but this just gives us a little bit more of attack. So when the monster is pretty much, agitated, or becomes enraged, which is pretty much like 80% of the fight because they're constantly yelling, this gives us a small attack boost and a small affinity boost as well while they are in this state. And another one is Constitution. They have a level 2 for this one. This reduces our fixed stamina depletion by 20%. So again, with the help of the Guardian Fulgur set, we have extra stamina. This helps bring our stamina depletion down just a little bit, so that way we can always have that maximum might skill activated. So a couple tips that I want to share with you guys. When you first start off on the hunt, you can jump off your secret, hold Y or triangle to do a jumping charge slash, and this pretty much guarantees you a free mount just before the hunt starts, so that way you can mount the monster, go in between 2 positions on them, and that way you can open up 2 wounds, so that way you can get a free mounted attack. They go on the ground stunned, and this also applies the paralysis status effect as we're hitting them with our sword, so that way they can get even more stunned by getting paralyzed after they land on the ground. So this opens up this even more for more damage, because that way you can get a full charged combo off just at the beginning of the hunt. And another big tip for you guys is try to time those offset attacks with the Greatsword. This is such a satisfying thing to do. Now, one thing that I like doing, especially for beginners or anybody that's just brand new to Greatsword, if you do your guard, if you hit right trigger to block the attack right at the same time an enemy is about to hit you, so right at the time you hit a perfect guard, just like with Lance or Gun Lance, if you hit it with the Greatsword, you can follow up with a charged offset attack. So that way it kind of opens up, like if a monster is doing multiple attacks, you can guard the first one, then hold Y and B or circle and triangle. That way you can pretty much time your charged offset attack and then just let go right before the attack is going to hit you, so that way you can get that offset attack. It's such a satisfying thing to do, so make sure to get that timing right, so that way you can just be a badass Greatsword player. And the last tip that I want to share with you guys, which should be obvious at this point, is you want to go for your true charge combo as much as possible every time the monster is paralyzed. This is a paralysis build, so you want to use that status effect to your advantage. Paralysis is very potent in this game, so I don't know how long if Capcom's going to keep this or nerf this, I have no idea. But use it to your advantage. Every time they get knocked down, go for your true charged combo, because that way you can deal a ton of damage. And obviously go for the head, because the head is mainly the weak spot for most monsters in this game. And then also we have skills to complement this. So like I stated before, we have focus to reduce our charge time between attacks, and that pretty much wraps up our Paralysis Greatsword build, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It's got more builds and more Monster Hunter content coming your way. And of course, as we are a variety channel, we always got games lined up on our channel, so if you want that and more, make sure to hit that bell icon so that way YouTube can notify you guys when our videos go live. And also, guys, again, don't forget to check out the Mobalytics link down in the description below to get a more detailed version of this build. And again, if you want to join our Discord and or become a member of the channel, visit those links as well. We'd love to have you. But that's going to be it from us, guys. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.